Hi, everybody, and welcome to our week number 3 live stream for our 4-week intro psych class. We only have this week and next week left together. It is a very, very quick 4-week class for us. Can everyone hear me and see me okay? It looks like there's definitely some of you in here with me getting your names in the chat and everything. If someone could let me know if it's coming through all right. Perfect. Thank you. Thank you for letting me know. I'm glad it's all working. I hope everyone had a nice 4th of July if you celebrate. It was definitely a very summery day, right? I can't believe we're already on the 5th of July. All I have seen all day today are TikToks about decorating for Halloween. Like, it is now Halloween. The spooky council has met. Everything that I've seen today has been like, let's decorate for Halloween, right? Soon, but it's too soon, right? And anyway, we have this week and next week left. And so I just want to go over a little bit of feedback from last week. Then we'll talk about what we have going on this week and some reminders. I'll, of course, give you the extra credit question. And then I'll end with seeing if you have any questions at all for me. So, excuse me. So let's go ahead and go over to Canvas together. And as I said, we are now in week number 3, but just a couple of quick comments from week number 2 before we move on. And I, of course, like usual, did grade everything on Monday, and I sent out an email with some kind of general feedback. But I just wanted to make a couple of comments about discussion 3 and 4 and exam number 2. So with discussion 3, let's open this up for a minute here. This one was about dreams, and I enjoyed reading about all of your dreams. As I mentioned last week, I do tend to think that dreams are really meaningful, and a lot of you seem to have a little bit of fun, right? Kind of analyzing your dreams from a different perspective. The biggest reason people lost points here was not describing the theories. So a few people said like, oh, dream theory number 1, but they didn't describe the theory enough to show me that you did understand it and could apply it. That was the biggest reason. A couple of people missed the last question too about why do you personally think that we dream, but answers were all over the place. And again, I really enjoyed all of the takes on your dreams that you shared. Really, really interesting, very, very unknown area of psychology. Discussion number 4 from last week. This one was related to memory. I hope you enjoyed my little story about how I would memorize that 28-digit sequence of letters and numbers. A lot of you came up with stories or sentences kind of similar to mine with different themes. Some of you chunked it. Some of you put it to a song. Again, you didn't actually have to memorize this. If you were taking this with me in person, you would. And people oftentimes will create a story or put it to a song or something like that. So I enjoyed your methods. Biggest reason people lost points here was just not giving me enough about how you would hold on to it. Some of you said, oh, I made a story, but you didn't share the story. Or you had the same technique for seconds and days. I really wanted you to come up with something different. But most of you, I think at this point, are really starting to kind of settle in with the discussions. A lot of you getting full points are very, very close to, which is amazing. Nice to see that you're kind of settling into that as we've passed the halfway point of our class together. And as far as exam number 2 goes, I wrote this down here. The average amount of time was 63 minutes. And the average score was an 89%, which is just a hair higher than the first exam. So again, a lot of really nicely done attempts on the test. We've done 2. We have 2 more to go. If you're doing well on them, keep doing the same thing. If you wish you had done a little better, you could try studying a little differently this week. But a lot of you seem to be doing a great job. And again, kind of settling into those expectations and format and what to expect. So that's wonderful. I also enjoyed all of your responses to the self-assessment. And again, a lot of you seem very happy and should be because a lot of you are doing very well in the class, which makes me happy to see as well. So we move on to week number 3 this week. Now, if you read my announcement and noticed, I have also opened up week number 4. So the rest of the class at this point is open, and technically you could finish this class up at any time. The reason that I did that is if you're looking at the calendar, our class actually ends on Friday next week. And that is not something that I am in charge of. That's something that was set by the college. And so I wanted to give you a little bit of extra time so that you're not so tight next week in case maybe you were traveling or had a busy week. So I'm going to put this here in the chat. I'll remind you like 20 times probably before we hit it. Remember that our class officially ends on Friday, July 14th at 11:59 p.m. February. I went all the way back to February. So Friday, July 14th at 11:59 p.m. So next week, instead of going all the way till Sunday, we go till Friday. So I wanted to make sure, if you would like, the materials for week number 4 are open. Now, when we do our last live stream next week, I will talk about discussion 7 and 8 and the closing assignment and the 4th exam, but it's all open if you would like to work a little ahead. But for now, since it's week 3, I will focus on what we have going on this week. I just wanted to kind of remind you that that was open should you want to work ahead. So this week, we are looking at 4 very core concepts to psychology. We're looking at motivation, emotions, human development, and personality. So chapters 9, 10, 11, and 12. So as usual, you're going to want to read the ebook, read the chapter in the ebook, and then read through the lecture, click on any links, watch the videos, right? Really kind of explore and utilize everything in there. It's meant to help you understand. And then, of course, you'll want to watch the lecture video and maybe take notes. This is where you're going to get a lot of the terms and concepts that are going to be covered on like the exam, for example. So you'll want to do that for chapters 9, 10, 11, and 12. You do have 2 discussions this week, like usual, so let's take a look at those together. Discussion number 5. And as usual, you have your instructions up here. Make sure you watch my little video. Be detailed in your responses. Think about them as mini papers, all the same kind of stuff. Don't forget to respond to a classmate to get those 2 points that are kind of an easy 2 points to get. But this one is related to emotions. So this is one of the core topics for this week. So what you're going to be doing is explaining an emotional reaction from each of the 3 theories of emotion talked about in the book. So the James Lang, Cannon-Bard, and Schachter-Singer theories. So all 3, this is something that sometimes people only do 1, but you want to do all 3. So you're going to talk about something that happened recently that led to an emotion. You can even make this up if you would like. And then you're going to talk about the chain of events from each theory that led to the emotion. So let's say I walked out into my patio and I saw a giant spider and I felt afraid, right? So if I wanted to explain that from each of the theories, like from the James Lang theory, right, I saw the spider, which caused my palms to sweat and my heart to race, and then I felt fear. Or from the Cannon-Bard theory, my palms started to sweat, my heart started to pound, I breathed a little bit faster, and I felt fear at the same time. Or the 2-factor theory, right? I saw the spider and I decided that that looked terrifying. I am hugely not a fan of spiders. So my palms started to sweat and I felt all this fear, right? So like you're talking about how you would go through the chain of events for each of those 3 theories. And again, you can make up a scenario or you can talk about something that happened. You're going to talk about some ways to spot a lie. This can be personal stuff. It can also be stuff from the lecture. I am a horrible liar, but I did make kind of a bonus video just for fun. I was never very good at the 2 truths and a lie game that people love to play. My daughter loves to play this game, and I am not so great at it. But I recorded this. It's a few years back at this point. I should make a new one. But I recorded it just for fun if you'd like to watch it and try and figure out which one is the lie. I rehearsed a lot, so I think I did pretty well. I usually, I think I pulled it off pretty well. But I'm not very good at lying, even about the smallest little things. So this one's all about emotions, explaining those theories, ways to spot a lie, and then just for fun, the 2 truths and a lie video. The next discussion, discussion number 6. Where we go here? Discussion number 6. Let's bring that one up. This one, as usual, again, you have the instructions up here, my little video to help you, right? Think about them as mini papers, all the same instructions. So this one is about human development and kind of the lifespan. And you're going to be looking at kind of 2 tasks to complete and then writing about them. So you're going to watch and listen to the 2 songs about being a teenager. If you're not a big country fan, I'm sorry, you will get your country fix. It's 15 by Taylor Swift and Letter to Me by Brad Paisley. And the songs can be found right here. You're also going to go on a field trip to a store that sells birthday cards. This could be a grocery store, a Hallmark, a Target, a Walmart, a CVS, Walgreens, anywhere that you can find that sells cards. You're also welcome to do this virtually if you would like to find a place online that has cards and because you don't want to go out, totally fine. But you're going to be looking at some cards, a minimum of 2 cards for each of the following ranges. Middle adulthood, so turning like 30, 40, or 50, and then late adulthood, turning 60, 70, or 80, or just kind of aging in general. And then after you've done those two things, you're going to write about how the songs incorporate and demonstrate some of the cognitive, social, or physical milestones of being a teenager. I'm looking to see that you can give me specific lyrics and examples from the songs and incorporate those with the materials from chapter 11 so that you can take something in the song and write about how it connects to a concept covered in the chapter. What were the general messages, tone, and focus of the cards for each age range that you examined? What are some of the attitudes and stereotypes you observed related to getting older and aging? And then just for fun, if you had to personally be stuck at one age for the rest of your life, what age would you pick and why? And you are more than welcome, if you find cards that are funny or entertaining, you're welcome to take pictures of them and add them to your post. There's a lot of very funny birthday cards. They're often a little bit dark and morbid, but funny. You're more than welcome to add them. It's kind of fun to take a look at those. So you're welcome to do that if you would like. But don't forget, again, think about them as little mini papers, right? Really elaborate, show off your knowledge, answering all of those questions. And don't forget to also reply to a classmate. The other thing that you have going on this week, as usual, you have an exam, right? So this week we are on exam number 3, and you have a study guide right below it. And remember that the exams are only on that week's topics. So this one is on chapters 9, 10, 11, and 12. So motivation, emotion, lifespan, and personality. So as usual, make sure that you know all the terms on here, right? If it were me, I would probably study them. I would type them out or write them out, have them in front of me. Totally up to you. If you've done really well on the first 2 exams, keep doing the same thing. It's clearly working for you. If you wish you had done better, maybe study a little more, study a little bit differently. Hopefully you kind of have a good idea of how you could tweak what you're doing. But make sure that you're ready and organized before you begin. Same style, same format as the first 2 exams, roughly the same number of questions, multiple choice and true false and matching. And same tips, right? Make sure that you don't wait until Sunday night. Try and make sure that you have a good quiet place to take the exam, that you're prepared, you have good internet. Set yourself up for success just so that you can do as well as humanly possible. And then don't forget that you also have one more of those brief self-assessments this week. Only worth 5 points, but it's a really easy 5 points to get, where you're reflecting on your progress so far now that we've passed the halfway point. How are you feeling about your grade? Is there anything you need to change? Right? What are you confused about, if anything? Just gives me some good information and gives you a wonderful chance to kind of reflect on where you're at in the class so far. As always, I will, of course, post a recording of this a little bit later, either tonight or tomorrow. And I will, of course, give you that extra credit question here in just a couple of minutes. But are there any questions for me? I do have a couple of reminders for you, but are there any questions at all for me as we kind of go farther and farther into the class? These are a little bit shorter, right? It's only been like 15 minutes, but I do have a couple of quick reminders for you while I'm waiting. Well, that scared me, right? There was something over there. So one reminder, right? Make sure that you are subscribed, right? Or if your subscription ended for any reason, that you renew it. So if you're looking at the chat and you don't have the little football cake next to your name, that does mean that you are no longer subscribed. So you might take a look at that. Or if you never figured it out, it's not too late. It saves me so much time, so I really greatly appreciate those of you who did that. The other reminder is we'll likely have a Twitch live stream next week, but there's a small chance that I will have to just make a recording. I will let you know when I send out the announcements on Monday. We are going out of the area tomorrow, and I should have decent internet, but if I don't, I will probably just make a short video, and I'll put the extra credit question in there so that you can still get those points. But I will let you know on Monday. Worst case, I will try to make it happen because it's our last one. But worst case, if I can't, I will at least give you a video of some reminders. I'll go over the closing assignment and all that kind of stuff to make sure that you feel good about next week. So I will let you know on Monday if that isn't going to happen. Otherwise, if there aren't any questions, let me give you that Twitch extra credit question that I did write out. Okay. All right. So I'm going to put this here in the chat. This is the week number 3 Twitch extra credit question. So I put this here in the chat, and then I will go over it really quickly. What is the difference between intrinsic and extrinsic motivation? Describe, define, and give me an example. So what is the difference between intrinsic and extrinsic motivation? Describe and give me an example. So when you're ready to do that, on Canvas, right, you'll go to optional Twitch extra credit number 3 right here. And this is due by Sunday night at 11:59 p.m. Up at the top, you'll click on Start Assignment. And then in the box here, you could type your response and then go ahead and hit submit as soon as you feel good about it. This is worth up to 5 points. Ooh, pizza, confetti and pizza, perfect. And I do try to grade these kind of a little bit throughout the week. So if you attempt it and get it wrong, I will often let you know you can try again. But most of you have been doing really well on these. I love that so many of you are taking advantage of that and getting those points. And again, kind of a usual week this week, right? So don't forget to read the 4 chapters, read through the lectures, watch the lecture videos, do discussions 5 and 6, complete exam number 3, and then don't forget the little self-assessment that's worth 5 points. And as I said, I will post a recording of this a little later, and I will let you know on Monday if I'm not going to be able to do the live stream. I will post a video under next week when we get there. But we won't worry about it too much yet. Yep, thank you, Grace, for putting your name in there. If you haven't put your name in the chat, make sure you do that. Unless, of course, you're subscribed, in which case you don't need to worry about it. And then what I'll do is I'll just hang out for a little bit. If any of you do have any questions for me, kind of keeping it short and sweet tonight, right? I'm sure everyone's maybe tired after a later night last night. I know we were up really late with all the fireworks being set off everywhere in our neighborhood. So keeping it short and sweet. But if you do have any questions, I will hang out for a little while. I'm more than happy to answer them. Otherwise, I hope you all have a wonderful week. Thank you to those of you who joined me on here. I really appreciate your company. And it's nice to have the chance to interact with you live, even if there weren't too many questions. But I will hang out for a little bit. I'm going to minimize this, but if you do have any questions, I am here and would be more than happy to answer them for you. You can go ahead and put it in the chat. Otherwise, have a wonderful week, and I will hope to see you all for our last live stream next week. Thank you. You too have a wonderful week. Thank you so much. We're going up to Humboldt, to Northern California, where I went to school. I'm very excited to be in the trees in the cold weather. It's like 60 degrees up there, so way colder than here. So thank you so much. Oh, for sure. Yeah, I love it too. I went to school up there and I absolutely love the cold weather. That was one of my favorite parts of being there. All the rain and the trees and the cold weather. I'm not going to tell you yet. I will tell you after this week which one was the lie. That was one of my 2 truths and a lie. So I'll let you know. I promise when I send out the feedback next week, I will let you know which one was the lie. It was a good try though, Michelle.